Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. Rain fell in fine tears on the city's cobblestones, transforming the streets into dark mirrors reflecting the lamplight. In the shadows of a nearly deserted cafe, a man leaned against the wall, soaked to the bone, his face hidden beneath a threadbare hood. His clothes were dirty, torn in places, and his worn shoes looked as if they had traveled thousands of miles. No one paid him any attention. After all, in this city, beggars were a common sight. Yet, this man was not what he seemed. Beneath this shabby disguise hid Ethan Sullivan, a billionaire renowned for his colossal fortune and business empire, but also for his legendary arrogance. That evening, he had decided to blend into the world he had never truly known, a world where genuine smiles didn't depend on money. A few meters away, a 12-year-old boy, Marcus Johnson, was crossing the street carrying a small bag full of newspapers. His hands were red with cold, and his face, marked by fatigue and determination, reflected the sacrifices he made every day for his ailing mother. He stopped in front of the drenched man and stared at him for a moment. His eyes, bright and curious, seemed to search the stranger's soul. Without hesitation, Marcus took a sandwich he had saved for his own lunch out of his bag and handed it to the man. "Here, take this. You look hungry." Ethan felt his heart clench. No one had ever given him anything without expecting anything in return. In this simple gesture, in this pure innocence, he perceived a lesson that neither his money nor his power had ever been able to teach him. That evening, in the pouring rain, two worlds collided, that of a poor child, guided by his heart, and that of a billionaire, blinded by power and wealth. No one could have imagined that this simple gesture would change their lives forever. The rain had subsided, leaving behind a city sparkling under the streetlights. Ethan, still disguised as a beggar, sat on the edge of a sidewalk, his gaze lost in the puddles. His hands trembled slightly, not from the cold, but from an emotion he hadn't felt in years, astonishment at human kindness. Marcus approached, his small bag of newspapers on his shoulder. "Sir, would you like something to eat?" he asked timidly, offering a still-warm sandwich and a juice he had carefully saved. Ethan looked up in surprise. "No. I don't want to bother you, boy." Marcus shook his head. "It's no trouble. Everyone deserves to eat. Even you." Those simple words resonated in Ethan's heart. He tried to smile behind his disguise, but a lump formed in his throat. "Thank you, that's very kind of you." The boy sat down next to him on the sidewalk. "My name is Marcus." "And yours?" Ethan hesitated, but replied, "Call me Tom, for now." Marcus held the sandwich out to him. "Go on, take it. Otherwise, it'll get cold." Ethan took the sandwich with a trembling hand. Each bite, each sip of juice seemed to awaken forgotten memories within him: simplicity, sincerity, humanity. Never in his life, not even with his money or influence, had he felt such purity of heart. After a few minutes, Marcus looked at him intently. "Are you alone tonight?" Ethan sighed. "Yes, alone." "And you?" "My mother is sick. I have to sell these newspapers so we can have something to eat." The boy's eyes shone with determination, but also with a certain sadness. "But I think everything will be all right." Ethan felt a familiar warmth wash over him. For the first time, he wasn't the powerful billionaire, but simply a man facing a child who gave without expecting anything in return. A deep admiration for Marcus began to grow within him, mingled with a strange feeling, the shame of never having known this kind of kindness. As the sky cleared, Ethan understood that this simple gesture, a sandwich offered by a poor boy, would change his life more than all his possessions, all his wealth, and all his successes. He had met someone who showed him that true greatness lay not in money, but in the heart. And in a dark corner of the city, under the light of a street lamp, a silent and indestructible bond had just formed between a masked beggar and a pure-hearted boy. In the days that followed, Ethan continued to follow Marcus discreetly. Every morning, he saw him walking through the icy streets with his bag of newspapers, always smiling despite his fatigue and poverty. But Ethan wanted to understand if Marcus's kindness was genuine or simply a spontaneous reaction. One afternoon, he sat in the shade of a building and pretended to be ill. He coughed, gasped, and almost collapsed on the sidewalk. Marcus, who was passing by with his basket of newspapers, saw him immediately. "Sir," he shouted, running towards him. "Are you all right? Are you sick?" Ethan closed his eyes, savoring the authenticity of the reaction. I think so. I feel very weak." Marcus didn't waste a second. He took a small bottle of water out of his bag and held out his hand. "Drink. And I'll cover you with my coat. You'll catch a cold." Ethan was stunned. No adult, not even among his associates, would have shown such concern for him. Marcus, a mere 12-year-old boy, had just offered him his compassion, his protection, and his heart unconditionally. Not wanting to take advantage of his kindness, Ethan sat up slightly. You're not scared?" Marcus shrugged. "Why would I be afraid? You're just a man who needs help. And helping others never hurts." At that precise moment, Ethan felt something he had never felt before, a mixture of humility, gratitude, and respect. He realized that wealth and power could never buy what Marcus offered him so naturally, the purity of a generous heart. Later that evening, Marcus walked Ethan back to the entrance of a small homeless shelter. "You can stay here if you want, but tomorrow I'll bring you some more food." Ethan nodded, his eyes shining. "Thank you, Marcus, you're an exceptional boy." Marcus smiled innocently. "I'm just doing what I believe is right. Everyone should help others when they can." Ethan knew then that he had to take this experiment further. He wanted to see how selfless Marcus could be, how far his kindness could go. And deep down, he was beginning to feel a transformation that no amount of money could ever bring about. The days passed, and Ethan, still disguised as a beggar, continued to spend time with Marcus. Every gesture from the boy, every smile, every act of generosity reinforced an unexpected feeling within him, respect and genuine admiration. But he knew he had to go further. Marcus and his mother deserved the truth. One evening, under the glow of the streetlights, Ethan invited Marcus and his mother, Angela, to his home for a dinner he had discreetly prepared. Marcus, wary but curious, accepted. Upon their arrival, Marcus and Angela were stunned by the grandeur of the house. Crystal chandeliers, paintings by old masters, and a garden illuminated like a waking dream. Marcus murmured, "It's incredible." Angela, with tears in her eyes, took the boy's hand. How is this possible?" Ethan, finally removing his hood and dirty clothes, revealed his identity. "I am Ethan Sullivan, the billionaire you've probably heard of." The shock was total. Marcus took a step back, his eyes wide open. You were the beggar?" Ethan nodded. "Yes. I wanted to understand. I wanted to see the truth in your hearts. And Marcus, you've taught me a lesson I'll never forget." Marcus, hesitant, finally spoke, You tested us?" Ethan smiled sadly. "Perhaps, but I never imagined your kindness, Marcus, would go this far. Your generosity never sought anything in return." Angela, overcome with emotion, knelt before him. Thank you for everything you do for us." Ethan placed a hand on his shoulder. "What I'm doing isn't for me. It's for you. To thank you, Marcus. I want to fund your studies, and for you, Angela. I want to make sure you never have to worry about anything again." Marcus shook his head. I can't accept this. Money isn't what matters to me." Ethan, with a touching smile, replied, "I know. But what you've done for me, what you've shown the world, it deserves more than just words. You have a heart that money can never buy." That night, in that gigantic house, an unbreakable bond was created. A poor boy and a billionaire had found common ground, human value, kindness and empathy, stronger than all the fortunes in the world. And Ethan finally understood that the greatest wealth was not that which one possesses, but that which one receives by giving without expecting anything in return. In the weeks that followed, Marcus and Angela's lives changed completely. But for Ethan, the transformation was even more profound. He was no longer the arrogant billionaire who looked down on the world. He had learned, thanks to a simple, poor boy, the value of small gestures, sincerity, and generosity. Ethan personally invested in Marcus's education. Every day, he came to see him at school, encouraged him to pursue his dreams, and taught him that no material wealth was worth the purity of a heart. Marcus, for his part, remained humble. "I never wanted your money," he often said. "I just want my mother to be happy and for others to have a chance too." Ethan smiled. "And that's exactly why you're exceptional. You've shown the world, and me, that true greatness has nothing to do with wealth." Over time, Ethan created a program to help underprivileged children in poor neighborhoods, offering scholarships, food, and educational support. He became personally involved, often alongside Marcus, who became his moral and inspirational right-hand man. One evening, as they were looking at the city from the terrace of Ethan's house, Marcus said softly, "You know, I never would have thought that a beggar and a poor boy could change the world together." Ethan placed a hand on his shoulder. "And yet, Marcus, we've only just begun. The whole world needs your heart, not your money." Angela, visibly moved, looked at them. "Thank you, for everything. You have given hope back to me and my son." Ethan realized that this experience had changed his life forever. He had discovered that the most precious wealth was not in his bank accounts, but in the kindness, compassion, and empathy of others. And Marcus, the boy who offered a sandwich to a beggar in the rain, became a living symbol of hope and kindness, proving that even a simple gesture can turn someone's life upside down and change the world. In this city, now illuminated by more than just streetlights, a billionaire and a poor boy had found their greatest wealth, a heart capable of giving everything, without ever expecting anything in return.